Of Michigan, and also Cindy Estrada, Vice President of the United Auto Workers. Great to have both of you with us. First of all, you, Congressman, you were in that meeting today. Right. How determined do you think Governor Snyder is to get this thing done when he has said previously that this was not one of his top priorities?
I seemed very determined in that meeting, which was really quite surprising. As you said, he has been saying over and over again, this is not part of his agenda, not something that he wanted to move forward. And yet we've seen a 180-degree switch right after the election. And now he's bound and determined to push this through. And this is a bill that will undermine labor unions in the state that really created the labor movement in America. He wants to push it through. He listened to us, but I don't think it had made any difference in his mind. And what I think is particularly outrageous is not only does he want to push this through, he wants to do it in such a way as to prevent the people of the state of Michigan to actually have a vote. And one of the things that we asked in that meeting is that if this bill is signed into law, take out an appropriation. They put into this bill a $1 million appropriation, and under our state constitution, if there's an appropriation, you cannot have a public referendum from the people getting out there and signing petitions. So using a parliamentary technique, he is trying to stifle the ability for the people in the state of Michigan to stand up for something that is absolutely critical for the middle class in our state. So
the only thing labor can do right now is wait till 2014, change both houses and the governor's chair to have a chance at eliminating this. Cindy Estrada of the United Auto Workers, how could labor not see this coming?
You know, part of not seeing it coming was because for a long time the governor has said he didn't want this divisive fight. And we went to the table, a number of unions, to talk to the governor about how we work together in the same way that we did in the auto industry. And so he misled us. He made it sound like he wanted to sit down and figure out how to keep this off his table. But when the time came for him to take real leadership and be a real leader, he failed. And he blindsided us, frankly. I mean, he was saying that he wasn't going to put this on his agenda, only to turn around after many, many talks and put it on his agenda.
Here's Governor Snyder explaining why he might sign the bill. Here it is.
I don't believe this is fundamentally anti-union. I believe it's pro-worker, giving workers more authority about their own lives and situation and giving them the freedom to choose.
Cindy, is this pro-worker?
This is not pro-worker. Pro-worker is when you have a transparent process, when you invite workers to the table to be part of that process. And what the governor did with the legislature by not allowing it to be an open debate, by not allowing the public to take part in this debate is not pro-worker. Pro-worker is when you do what we did in the auto crisis, when labor and management get together and you value what workers have to say and you value the creativity that they bring to the table and the innovation. This governor is not pro-worker. Let's make one thing clear.
Congressman, this cuts right to the fabric and the culture of the state, the history. Is it all over?
Well, it's not. This is going to be a fight that is going to continue. It's unfortunate that this governor wants to push this through in a lame duck session. In fact, he knows because Democrats picked up seats in the state legislature, if it went into next term, he would not be able to pass this. In fact, he is basically just thumbing his nose at the voters of the state of Michigan, putting this through in a lame duck and using a parliamentary technique in order to prevent a referendum. This just makes people angry. It makes them outraged. And I believe this is an absolutely outrageous action by the governor, and there'll be a price to be paid.
Cindy, what about the outside groups that have poured money into the state to try to make this a right-to-work state? How much of an influence have they had in this?
You know, I don't think they're going to have the influence that they want to have. They put $2 million just in the last few days into the state of Michigan, the Koch brothers, groups with ALEC. And it really is these outside influences trying to change our state. You know, we had a governor who ran a campaign saying that he wanted to be transparent. He wanted to be data-driven. He wanted to work together with management, and he wanted to work together with labor so we could create jobs and change education and have, and get the skills that are needed in the state. Instead, he is allowing these outside groups like ALEC and other insiders like Dick DeVos, very rich corporate, CEO types, and they're not going to be successful in beating back workers. We're going to show that it's actually energizing our base, and people are saying that they're angry about it.
What was the name you put out? What was his name? Dick what?
Dick DeVos.
Is that that's the Amway guy?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And Governor Snyder seems to have more, he seems to pay more attention to him than he does the citizens of the state.
Well,
and that's very unfortunate.
I mean, moving forward here, the only option you have here is 2014. Congressman, in some way, could this really solidify Democrats going into a midterm where they're going to be needed?
I think it will. It's going to energize people who understand that we had a governor who said that he was about bringing people together, and instead he is driving a major wedge in our state at a time when our economy is recovering as a result of the auto industry recovering and all the work that President Obama has done. At a time when our economy is coming back, instead of bringing people together, he's driving a wedge between people. This is energizing people. It's an emotional issue, and I believe that people are going to turn out and make sure that their voices are heard. In fact, we expect to see that tomorrow on the grounds of the state capitol when thousands of people have their voice heard. I just hope the people inside the capitol actually listen.
Cindy, who benefits from right-to-work legislation?
You know, no one benefits from right-to-work legislation. We know, and you said earlier, that it means lower wages, it means less jobs. The only ones that think they're going to benefit are outside groups like ALEC and the Koch brothers. They think that they're going to break unions, that they're going to break communities, so there's more for corporate CEOs. And what we're going to show them is the opposite. This is going to inspire us and galvanize us, because working people, the only way we're going to recreate Michigan or any state is if everyone's at the table. And so right to work is bad for everyone. It's bad for union, not union. But one thing that it is going to be good for right now, it's going to show working people in the state of Michigan that we in fact need to be at the table, that we can't have outside in organizations or legislatures or governors who think that they have all the answers and they don't want to include everyone in the discussion. That's not the way you recreate a state. That's not the way you contribute in a global economy. Workers have a lot to offer. It's unfortunate that Governor Snyder didn't get that.
Congressman Gary Peters, Cindy Estrada, UAW, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Great to be with you.
Thank you.